Thanks for joining me on this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also be sure to follow me on these other social media platforms. Links are in the description below. All right, have and have not fans, we're back at it again with just an open discussion video about Jeffrey and Maddie or Madison, whichever one you prefer. I honestly don't know which one I'll be using during the video, probably both, so just be prepared for that. And just an open discussion about a question a lot of fans have been asking since the previous episode. Do you think that Jeffrey and Madison will make a good couple? Better yet, I think the more common question is, do you think that Madison is gay? Do you think he's attracted to Jeffrey? Now, the obvious answer seems to be that he is into Jeffrey. Possibly. I mean, it seems that's pretty obvious. I mean, I knew that this guy was going to be an upcoming important character because of one key factor. After, you know, Jeffrey finally went to the hospital to see his father, when he was going back and forth with Justin in the waiting room right outside of David's door, Madison was at the front desk and he kind of looked up. You know, he was looking down at the desk, but his eyes were looking up, showing that this guy was paying attention to the discussion going on in front of him, which is something we never really get in the haves and have-nots. Whenever the characters are talking about things they really shouldn't be talking about in a public setting, because everyone else around them seems to be frozen while they're talking. Kind of like, you know, in Pokemon, when Ash takes out his Pokédex, everything just stops except for the Pokédex talking. Or in Power Rangers, when they summon the Megazords to fight a giant villain who is not destroying the city, but is possibly just standing there waiting for the Zord to form. But when something actually happens out of the ordinary, you pay attention to that. And with Madison actually paying attention and listening to the conversation between Jeffrey and Justin, I knew right then, okay, this guy is probably going to show up in the next few episodes with actual speaking roles that are important. And I was right. Now, the question is, you know, is he into Jeffrey? Is he gay? Once again, it does seem semi-obvious that's the, you know, reason for his character. I do believe the actor that portrays Madison did do an interview. There is an article. I have not read it yet, which I'm actually kind of glad, because this video is just my raw thoughts on the character. And we know he and Jeffrey went to school together, allegedly, you know, on the wrestling team. Madison used to be chunky, but he went to the gym, lost weight, you know, was impressed by Jeffrey standing up to Bobby Schaefer, who was, you know, calling him all those gay jokes, pretty much. I believe he said, and I quote, every gay or homosexual name in the book. And yeah, you know, Jeffrey gave him his phone number to catch up. And yeah. Oh, wait, did Jeffrey give him his phone number, or he give his phone? Whatever, I forgot. But basically, you know, they exchanged numbers, and Justin got jealous, yada yada yada. Seems obvious that Justin is going to be stalking Madison, or, you know, the way that Justin was telling Madison that Jeffrey is under investigation, you know, well, we haven't seen each other in school, so yeah, stay away from him. It kind of reminds me of season 1, when Jeffrey was telling Laura to stay away from Wyatt in order to prevent him from relapsing. And it's like, yeah, you probably won't have to stay away from him for another few months or maybe even a year. And he was pretty much interfering with a natural connection because of, okay, basically, once again, it goes back to my theory about how Justin is like the corrupted version of Jeffrey. Justin is literally who Jeffrey was during season 1 of the show. Because he is in love with another man, he hates to see that love interest involved with anyone else, who is actually good for him, because even though we know later on that Veronica was the one that called Laura to come back into Wyatt's life, and Jeffrey was freaked out by that, because really Veronica was just showing him that Wyatt's not gay, he's not into you, so boy, wake up, snap out of it. That kind of, well, it doesn't really harken back to what's happening now, but basically Jeffrey is the Wyatt in this situation, while Justin is Jeffrey the stalker, crazy dude. And Madison is the Laura of Jeffrey's life in the sense that this is a guy from his school days, just like I believe Laura went to high school with Wyatt. And basically, Justin and Jeffrey were both jealous. You know, Jeffrey jealous of Laura and Wyatt, and then Justin, Jeffrey of Madison and Jeffrey. So in order to get rid of these potential rivals for their love interest, they concoct these stories about, hey, you know, Jeffrey's under investigation. Oh, you know, Wyatt's in rehab, and you know he's going to have to be on lockdown, if you will, in this program for another year or so. And yeah, very crazy. And once again, you know, I hate to say that this is what Jeffrey has coming to him, but this kind of is what Jeffrey has coming to him. But yeah, this is just a way more extreme version of Jeffrey was back in season 1. Aside from, you know, Jeffrey being black and Justin being white, not that, but just the way the characters are being portrayed. And keep in mind, in some ways, you know, Jeffrey kind of, I'm not saying that Jeffrey deserves this, but in some ways, he kind of was leading Justin on, you know, going back to their initial hookups, which was Candace telling Jeffrey what to do in order to, you know, get this guy wrapped around his finger to help out with the Quincy Maxwell investigation. But you know, even Jeffrey's like, look, I had moments of weakness, and I'm just like, well, that doesn't help your case of getting this guy off your back, Jeffrey. So there's that. So with Madison, and I don't want to talk about the video about, you know, who's going to beat down Justin and whatnot, but I just want to say this much. I feel like it is good to see Jeffrey smiling. Like, I did love the scene between Madison and Jeffrey, because I think what pissed Jeffrey off the most is that I don't think Justin has ever made Jeffrey smile like that. I think that is a fact. I don't think that Justin has ever seen Jeffrey smile like that, and that pisses him off. Just like, you know, Wyatt, he was happy with Laura, and that's something that, you know, because around Jeffrey, you know, Wyatt's all agitated and whatnot, not just because of the fact that he suspects something's up, but at the same time, you know, it's just like, man, I've been trying so hard to get this guy to notice me, but then this girl just comes out of his, you know, comes out of nowhere, and all of a sudden he's smiling and stuff like that. Yeah. That's why I feel. I feel like Madison could become, you know, a potential love interest. And before anybody says, it's like, well, what about that video you did about, was that Jeffrey and Justin scene necessary when those two were going at it on the couch? And it's like, you're a homophobe. No, that's not really the case. It's just like, I'm not really against Jeffrey being in a relationship with another man if it's done right. I mean, if it's good storytelling, like literally in the comments, who likes Justin? Literally, I want some. And don't just say you like Justin, defend it. Let me know why you feel like, I'm not going to attack you or anything in the comments, but let me know why you feel like Justin is a good character, how you feel that any sort of relationship that Jeffrey has with him will be a healthy one. Tell me that. Please tell me, explain that in detail. With Madison, he seems like a good fit. Oh, he's a kid. Within a few minutes, he has been a more compelling character than Justin ever has in almost like 20, 30 episodes. Madison is a person from Jeffrey's past. Backstory. Him and Jeffrey seem to have good chemistry, and I really would like to see them catch up. Like, again, it doesn't have to necessarily be, oh, it's a date or them going to dinner. No, it's just two people from school catching up. Like, if it does turn into anything, you know, hey, then let it happen, you know, when I'm pretty sure, like, again, you know, that potential scene of Veronica being thrown down a flight of stairs does possibly appear to be at David's house. You know, Veronica shows up, but then Jeffrey won't have it, and it looks like Madison's in the background. Perhaps Madison is like the take-home nurse, if you will, to help David recover while he's at home. I'm pretty sure that he will volunteer for that. And then Justin will get jealous and whatnot. But I just feel like, you know, those two bonding in the moment of grief would actually help. So, yeah, I just feel like, you know, regardless as to whether or not Madison is gay, whether or not he becomes future love interest for Jeffrey, as long as we have Jeffrey in a good, and air quote here, relationship with another character that's not involved with backstabbing, blackmail, stalker behavior, I'm all for it. If Madison turns out to be nothing more than a friend, I am completely okay with that. Just as long as we give Jeffrey some slack here. Once again, somebody who's not stalking his ass, someone who's not forcing himself on Jeffrey, someone who isn't ignoring Jeffrey or being a bad friend like Wyatt, an abusive mother like Veronica, somebody that comes into his life with an agenda of their own like Melissa. Once again, if they are just friends, I am completely fine with that. Because once again, it's just the fact that Jeffrey is finally having some joy in his life. I am completely okay with that. So let me know your thoughts comment section below. What do you think about Maddie or Madison, his character? Do you think that he's the one for Jeffrey? Will he become a potential love interest? Just a good friend? Will be bullied by Justin, maybe kick his ass? We'll have to wait and see. So with that being said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you all soon.